Hey everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. Welcome to a new edition of The Rundown with Ramon, talking to Regine Fiddler. I hope I got that right, Regine, of Hiscox. And glad you're here today. Thanks for being here. But Regine, can you give us your full name and what your role is at Hiscox?
Sure. Happy to be here, and I love the energy. Yes, my name is Regine Fiddler. I am the Chief Marketing Officer and also the Head of Direct for Hiscox USA. We are a small business insurer specialty here in the US.
And I must say I'm a customer. Thankfully,
Oh, thank you.
you're
Thank you for your
welcome. You're
business.
one of those, it's like nothing bad about your doctor, but like you don't want to say, see you tomorrow, doctor. Nah, not really. But every time I've called and I'm a small business owner, so I don't even know all the terms, but like I do events and marketing things, and they're like
hmm
the thing where you have to have the person you're working with on your insurance, some those fancy terms.
Yep.
Every time I've
Yes.
needed it, I just call the number and they do what they got
Endorsement.
to do, and I got what I need. So all good experience.
Very
Please
good.
tell your team as a customer, I'm very happy. Um, so again, Regine, thanks for taking the time to be here. The broad question I want to ask you, we'll see where this goes. We won't be more than 30 minutes or so, but really is just for the average business owner, of which there is no average, for the
hmm
average business owner, how do we handle uncertainty? And you and I are having this discussion in 2025. We could have this discussion 40 years ago. So just
hmm
what's your advice? Because you are, ironically, I'm talking to a great person. You represent a risk organization. So, but
Yeah.
for the business owner that's got to get their send out invoices, get money, get cash flow done, sell their products, take care of their mama, take care of the kids to the football game, to the softball game, deal with this, deal with that. How do we grow our businesses and thrive and succeed, though still in the midst of uncertainty, of things that we don't know what the future holds for us? I know it's a broad question, but what do you tell your customers?
Well, I think let's always remember, and given that you are a small business, that part of being a small business is taking a risk and is having a level of uncertainty, right? You are engaging in a livelihood that does not have a constant paycheck or the same income like you would if you had a corporate job.
Mhm.
So I would say the nature of small business in general is to take risks and to have a level of uncertainty, and that resilience that you've built as being a small business owner should carry you through the times where there are that macro level of uncertainty. Ground yourself in the fact that why did I start this business? What did I want to achieve?
Mhm.
And just embrace that, right? Because there will always be risks. Like that's the guarantee of life, that things will change. There'll be economic risks. There's a lot of uncertainty politically too. People are concerned about the cost of goods.
Mhm.
How will that impact my business? And again, I want small businesses to hone in on that unique aspect that made you a small business, which is you're taking a risk, focus on servicing your customers, delighting your customers. And you will find a way to push through the uncertainty. So I can guarantee you that it's a mentality and that resilience that is going to help you push through that that uncertainty and not let those distractions take you from that passion.
Yeah, no, it's funny you said that because I tell the same thing to my niece when she was, oh my God, do they order 10 cupcakes, but I only got nine or eight or whatever. And I'm like, welcome, baby. This is our world. This is
Yeah,
keep signed up for this. And of course, those who work in corporate America, you have your team. Take your pick of which risk you want. Just take your pick. But talking to the business
exactly.
owner, I love what you said. This is exactly what we signed up for. And I go so far, I don't know if you can say this, but I say this, is that if it's not for you, you probably should work within a system, work within an organization. You're going to have a stress there too. But entrepreneurship and business ownership, being the small business owner, it's a different ball of wax. And thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at like the some of the iconic entrepreneurs, so if you think of, the famous story about Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Mm-hmm.
he got turned down 100 times for his loan to start his business, right? So there are a lot of no's that are going to happen in your journey as a small business owner. There are going to be bumps that you didn't bargain for. But again, this is what you've signed up for, and this is how you've become successful. And actually, that learning process of how you navigate those risks is what makes you a better business owner, right? Because now you're like, okay, things are maybe going to get expensive, or there's some additional risk. What can I do creatively to try to mitigate that? Or do I introduce a new value added services for my customers that makes me stand out from the competition, so that customers aren't just seeing the price tag, they're seeing the value that I bring as a small business owner. Like if you have a coffee shop, do you introduce poetry into a night that you have your business, so that you're doing more than just like selling coffee? So there are so many things that, and by nature you're essentially creative, so think of those ideas that can help differentiate you when times are going maybe to be a little challenging.
I love that. I love that. So to that point, can you just remind us of who or what Hiscox is and what you all do? I'm sure gazillions of people around the world know. For the few who don't know, or maybe they think they don't need insurance, or maybe is it medical insurance? I don't know. Help
Yeah.
unpack Hiscox, who you serve, what you do, what Hiscox mission is about for the smallest for smaller businesses.
Yeah, so and essentially we serve small businesses, and we empower them to do what they do by allowing them not to think of the risks um, of their businesses, and protect them for these risks. And I think there's always a misconception that one, insurance is very expensive, and that's actually not true. The average insurance for small businesses costs you between $30 to $40 a month. And if
I
you
can
think of your
testify to
life,
that because I'm a customer. I can testify to that.
and I mean, the types of insurance really depends on the type of business that you
Yeah,
have.
sure.
So it can be a general liability insurance that covers you for any type of third party claim. And we do live in a very litigious society.
Yeah.
So you definitely need to explore if your business needs general liability. Then there are also things like, hey, I want to protect my tools. And if I make a mistake as a craftsman, and that's professional liability, or business owner property. So again, you don't have to think about what type of insurance you need. You can actually come to our website, and we will educate you
Mm.
on what you specifically need for the type of work that you do. And again, we want to protect that business. So if something does happen, you don't have to worry about it. You're protected, you're covered, and you can focus on running your business, because that's what you should be doing, and leave it up to the experts, Hiscox. And we've been servicing more than 600,000 small businesses in the US, and we're a 200-year-old brand. And this is our specialty. This is all we do. So we are the experts in this area.
I love that. And can you talk about again, metaphorically, but talking to someone like you, just so special, you represent, as you said, hundreds of thousands of customers and zillions more over time. What have you
Mhm.
learned personally, and or what does a Hiscox brand learn? Like when you look at, you could say, Ramon, here's all of our customers. Is there anything that comes to mind? Like, wow, here's the key to success that we're seeing
Yeah.
across industries. Like you just got, and some of it you said already about taking risk, but anything that comes to mind, like Ramon, these are three or four things, or one thing that we're seeing over and over and over again. Our best customers, here's what they're doing that works. And or I'd love to know, even if you can say, here's some things to not do that you will probably fail. Anything comes to mind?
Yeah. Well, it's a two-edged sword. So what I've learned about small businesses is that a lot of it is driven off of a desire that corporate America cannot fill,
Hmm.
right? That desire of like, there's something unique. There's actually a small business customer we just interviewed to hear his story. The company is called Sweat Equity. And he talked about the fact that growing up as a kid, he was always this chubby kid. And it really like bothered him so much, his body image. And he started to play football, and he thought he could make it to the NFL. And then he soon learned that those dreams wouldn't come into fruition. So he started on this fitness journey, and he decided to help other, people go on this fitness journey with him. And now he's like a a national franchise.
Nice.
And just the story behind small business is about where it comes from, right? Sometimes it's like a personal journey of battling with something, or just wanting to prove yourself that you can do it, that may not fit into the conform of a corporate job.
Mhm.
And that has always surprised me, how they've stayed true to that. Like that still is their mission, is that I want to make a difference in people's lives. Simple thing, like someone who has a business in a community that's been there for 100 years, and they've learned the names of all their customers and their grandchildren, that brings them joy, that they've been serving those communities for generations. So for me, that passion and how they serve that community has been eye-opening. It's such a great thing to see, and to know that that's still evident in the first day they started the business, and maybe years after. That still is their core drive. Um, and the second part of the question, that can also be somewhat of a hindrance to growing,
Yes.
right? Because you want to do everything, and you're trying to, like, oh, I don't need someone to handle my books, or I don't need someone to do this because I've done it for all these years. But as a small business, you're expected to grow, and as you grow, it becomes much more complicated to manage your taxes or your bookkeeping or just running the business, right? Because now you may have more locations, you may have a different supply chain that you want to utilize, and you have to realize you can't do it all yourself. There is a point in that journey where you have to bring in people who can help you run that business. And I think that's one of the lessons that small businesses really struggle with, because they don't want to let go of that control, because there's such a pride in that business, and they think they can do it all themselves.
Just like we should have the Regine and Ramon coffee show. Oh, you're like preaching, really? Because I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
People at my church couldn't afford my cups, so I sold it to them for half the price, and then half the price of half the price because they were nice. No,
Yeah.
in church or whatever the example may be, and then you mentioned the thing about and I know you don't want to go fully here, but I'm going to take it here because I just had a conversation with a young man yesterday, heavyset gentleman, and we both started tearing up because he said, Ramon, I'll just be frank. He said, "Look at me. Who will buy from me?" And I
Mhm.
said, "See, now I'm getting ready to tear up." And I speak on stages around the world, Regine. And there'll be a little voice in my head telling me, "You're not enough. You're dumb." I'm a 52-year-old grown
Yeah.
man. I speak on the best stages, but the voice is still ringing in my head. That little boy who was in second grade, third grade, who couldn't spell well, couldn't write well. And I'd feel the pressure. So it's just,
Yeah.
I'm bringing out that all that you shared, our personal lives, how we grew up, what we went through, didn't go through, what we ate, didn't eat, impacts our
Yeah.
business. And love what you said, Regine Fiddler again, CMO of Hiscox, is the aspect of what we like to do, the passion we have for our business, the excitement to serve. It can be a downfall because you can't grow. You may not have profit.
Yeah.
You can't build teams if you don't go on that. So I think what you shared is just dynamic and powerful. Anything else on that, Regine?
No, I think you're spot on. And I think, you know, it doesn't mean that you lose control of your business if you allow people in. It actually means that you're empowering yourself to grow too, right? You're saying that, hey, you're being a little vulnerable to
Mhm.
say, like, hey, like, I'm not good at managing the books, but I'm going to bring someone in who can help me do it, where I can learn,
That's right.
and I can let go and do the other things that I love to do to some degree. So, just allowing yourself that vulnerability will allow your business to grow too.
Sure. I have a few other questions I want to talk about business, but I do want to get to one of my friends. I saw this dude on a ladder. Uh, and I'm like, who is this man? It's called Hiscox Fella. And I saw this in an Instagram. You all have a new campaign, new to me, launched. And
Yep. Yep.
he's a cartoonish caricature, I'm not what you call it, but you'll tell me more about it. Claymation-ish, but a representative of Hiscox.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the guy that understands small business, but then you had, of course, small businesses and you had people in the ladder I recall and all this. But point I'm getting at, talk to us about this new campaign Hiscox has done, which I thought it was pretty cool. I'm like, you know what? I get it. So Just recap, but I'm clumsily trying to say, tell the people, Regine, what I'm talking about and talk about this a bit, please.
Sure. So we launched a new campaign 2 weeks ago at the Oscars. It's really embodied the idea that there's no business like small business.
Mhm.
And as you guys know, there's a song. Obviously, there's no business like show business. And we've taken that and we've bought the rights to the song for a period of time, and we've made it about small businesses. And the whole point of the ad campaign is that the heroines are our small businesses, right? And if you actually look at the storyline for the accountant, one of the protagonists, it talks about this accountant who like doesn't even sleep, right?
Yeah.
Because again, and and the parents are like, "Hey, you've got to sleep because you need to take care of yourself." And in studying small businesses, we know again that they are like trying so hard to be successful that sometimes that self-care is not
Mhm.
there. But at the end of the day, when you look at their profile and their story, there really is no business like small business, and how they take care of their customers. And I think we wanted to tell those stories. And the Hiscox fella, and you'll notice the Hiscox fella is this cartoonish, small guy as part of the overall picture because we didn't want us to dominate the story.
I know
We
this.
wanted the small businesses to dominate and be the main protagonists. And we're just a small piece of the puzzle. We're here to help you be successful. So when something does happen, so you have a leak in your store or a cyber attack or you're a photographer and your camera breaks, we're just here to pick up the pieces and you get to continue on with your business.
I love that. I wish we had hours to go, but I want to make sure I give you back some of your time. So our certain colleagues, so I won't mention here, but we know they hear, so they say, yes, Ramon, you can talk to Regine again. Um, Regine, anything else I didn't ask you? Let's maybe close on this. We don't know whether the future is bright or the future is bleak. It's slightly
Mhm.
irrelevant, in my opinion. We as small business owners just need to keep on going, just need to keep moving forward. That's for me. What is your message to America's and to the world? I travel globally to the world, but to America's small business owners from Regine representing Hiscox, that you want to say to them. We talked the first part already about the risk, but anything else they should know? Like, hey, listen, if you want to keep going and you want to be a success, one of my coaches says, Ramon, just fight so you can have a business tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
Amazon, we're not Hiscox, we're not a billion-dollar
no,
company. What's your message to them so we can fight the next day, get back up, serve our customers profitably? Any more thoughts?
yes, yeah, no. I would say to small businesses, you are the heart of America, right? What you've contributed to our economic prowess, right? You employ more Americans than big corporations. The value you've added to our small business communities, in terms of like, just if you think of a tutoring service, what you've done to grow our communities and support them, it's just invaluable. So I would say, focus on if you're trying to do better for your business, focus on what that area is that needs attention, whether it's marketing your business, whether it's, thinking of how do I grow this business, or how can I inject maybe technology to help me deliver my business better. So just think of what is that area of opportunity to help you, expand and grow. Focus on that, but don't lose that resilience or drive either. So if you are, a photographer, be the best photographer that you can be, and injecting all of those expertise we talked about, well, it doesn't make you less of a photographer. We need small businesses. And I ask all of America to continue to support our small businesses, and small businesses, protect yourselves and get small business insurance so that if something happens, you don't have to lose your livelihood over it.
I love it. Again, Lucy, Regine, one more time. Give us your full name, Regine, your full name and title and who you work for. Let me hear that one more time.
Sure. I'm Regine Fiddler, Chief Marketing Officer and Head of Direct for Hiscox USA, small business insurance company in the US.
Love it. And I'm Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. Thanks. Have a blessed day and look forward to seeing you in the next edition of the Rundown with Ramon.